All right, so I promised you guys 2 episodes this week, so here is episode number 2 of the weekend. For those of you that are new here, I am your host, A Train, host of the Train Station podcast. With me, as always.
What's up, y'all? This is Derrell.
And today we are going to cover a very, very important topic that I think falls under a lot of people's radars. And that is the importance of mental health. Do you want to go ahead and get us started with that?
Yeah. So mental health is one of those touchy topics that people really don't like to talk about because they just either don't know how to respond to it or they're just very uncomfortable with talking about it. But you all, we all need to know that it's a very important topic because you never know what someone's going through. Just because they look well physically doesn't mean that they're well physically.
Yeah, and you mentioned how people don't like to talk about it, and I think that falls on, people like us. Like I think guys have a harder time talking about it than women do. And I think that's just because of, how guys are. It's like, we're supposed to be big and bad and we're not supposed to show emotion. So it's like, when we're dealing with mental health, we don't know how to show it.
Right.
And I think it's very important for everybody. If you're down in the dumps, you got to find, the best friend that you have or the person you find the easiest to talk to, whether it's a parent, a friend, a family member that, you talk to. You have to find some, or maybe it's a therapist. I think a lot of people are under the impression that, if you go to therapy, that, you're crazy or, that therapy just isn't good. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think
That's right.
it's very important that, we find somebody that we can talk to when we're, feeling those kind of and having those kind of issues. Because mental health is very draining on the rest of, on the rest of you. It's draining not only mentally, but it's draining physically as well. If you don't talk about it soon enough, it could start hurting those around you because you're not talking about it. And then,
It's very
put you in a bad mood, and it's not something or a place that you really want to be in. I really do think it's important that you, and I think another thing, which I will talk about in a minute, but I just think it's really important that we kind of just find somebody to talk to. So for those of you that are listening, think about somebody who you can tell anything about. If you're ever having a bad day, just hit that person up.
That's right. Strongly, extremely recommend that you all go talk to someone, whether it's your parents, your best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, or even a certified professional. You need to talk to somebody because it's not a sign of weakness to go talk to someone. It's actually a sign of strength that shows that you are not afraid to go speak to someone about your troubles.
And maybe it's not a friend or even a family member. Maybe you're really close with a teacher if you know you're kind of younger. Maybe you're very close with a teacher or a college professor. Maybe you're really close with them and you could talk to them about it. Or, an advisor at those levels. Maybe there's got to be somebody in the world that you're really, really close to that you can talk to. We say friends and family because that's the first thing that comes to mind, but it doesn't have to necessarily be friends or family.
That's right. But yeah, it doesn't have to be family most of the time because sometimes family is pretty biased. They may say, "Oh, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you," but who knows? Maybe you're dealing with depression and you just don't know how to go about it.
Yeah, and we've all been there, especially I was in that place not long ago before I got this new job. I was working at a warehouse, and I was just down in the dumps because it was like you're doing the same thing for 10 hours. There's not really anybody to talk to. You're kind of just keeping to yourself, and it's not really a place I wanted to be because I had just graduated college and I'm working at a job I don't want to be at. The job's miserable. So it's like, I was down in the dumps and depressed, and I didn't really know who to talk to.
Yeah, same. I've been in that stage in life. Sometimes I feel like I'm still at that stage because there's a lot of uncertainty and your mind begins to race and you start to think, well, what now, or what am I doing wrong?
And I don't necessarily think that it's just on the person that's depressed. I would say a lot of the times, um, you learn through the years as you start to get older who's really there for you and who's not. There's people that you'll be cool with or whatever, but they'll never hit you up, they'll never check on you, they'll never see how you're doing. And then you kind of just fade away. You need people in your life that that check up on you. Hey man, how you doing? And even if you're not really close with that person, do it anyways, because you never know how you could change somebody's day just by saying, hey, how are you doing? What's up? Been a minute since we've talked. you know how's your day going? How's life? You never know how that could positively impact somebody.
Yeah, you never know.
So it's
Just
like, we have to be better as, if you are friends with somebody, check up on them, ask how they're doing, ask how their day is, just because you just don't know how that person's feeling, and that message or that text or that phone call that you give that person could really turn their depression, into something positive.
exactly, you hit it on the head right there.
So I think that not only is it important that we reach out and talk to people when we're feeling depressed, but I think it's also very, very important that we reach out to people when we're not depressed. We hit up our friends, hey, what's up? Happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy weekend, or I hope you're having a good weekend. If there's anything that you need to talk about, don't be afraid to hit my line or whatever. Or hey, if you need to call me, don't be afraid to call me. I think we need to do better as a society to make sure that, because especially with the pandemic, people are losing their minds, they're going crazy, being cooped up in the houses, and yet things are starting to open up now. But when we were in the pandemic, depression was at a crazy high because people were trapped inside, not being able to do what they were used to doing all the time. And so I think it's very important that regardless, even if you haven't talked to somebody in a couple years, you know, just check in on them, hit them up, be like, hey, I know it's been a while since we've talked. I just wanted to hit you up and ask how you were doing.
Exactly.
So, it's very important that, and especially in times like this where things aren't completely back to how we are, but things are starting to open up, people still have that mindset because, some people still aren't back to work, or some people still aren't back to doing what they're used to doing. They're probably still down in the dumps, or maybe it's not even anything to do at work or anything like that. Maybe somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend just broke up with them and they're having a hard time getting over it. We need to be there for that person.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough times. Really tough, weird times.
And I mean, even when we're not in a pandemic, I'm not saying that we should do this just because we're in a pandemic. This is something that we should just do regularly. I've had friends come and go because of the same thing. I've had friends that I worked with in the past that, I felt like I was putting in all the effort, checking in up on them, and then when I really needed these people, they weren't there for me.
I feel you on that.
And so I just think that, you know, people come and go, but you really learn, especially in a depressive kind of mind, who's really there for you and who's not.
Yeah, you learn real quick who truly cares, who doesn't.
What was that?
Oh, you learn really quick who truly cares and who doesn't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was saying. Like you really learn who's there for you and who's not, especially in times when you're depressed or you're kind of, you're kind of under, under the dumps or in the dumps or whatever. You really do truly learn who's there for you and who's just there for the good times. Because I mean, that's how life works. You realize that there's going to be people in your life that are only there with you for the good times. You realize there's some people that, just come and go through your life, just there because, you met once through a mutual friend or whatever. And then you realize there's people that are going to be there for you for from day one, regardless of what happens, to you in your life. They're always going to make sure that you're good. And that's just
Yeah,
not
it's an evil world we live in.
either. That's family, and that's, teachers and professors, and it doesn't just have to be friends. I know we're focusing solely on friends, but there could be family that, that you only see at the holidays and then you never hear from again until the next holiday. Or there's a family member you hear from every day, and then if you're feeling down in the dumps, you'll still hear from them. And there's plenty of different things that, I know we're focusing solely in on the friends because it's really easy to do, but it doesn't just apply to friends. It literally applies to every single human being that you interact with in your life.
Yeah, that's really it on that.
Yeah, so for those of you watching, we kind of hit the nail on the head, but please check in on your people, check in on maybe people that you aren't so close with. Because like we've mentioned, you never know how that could change somebody's day. And this is really just kind of an awareness type episode to just make sure that we kind of get it out there to say, hey, it's real. Hey, people suffer through this. Hey, there are people going through this. There were people that were going through this. And we just want to, kind of hit it and cover it because it's very important. And we don't want anybody to feel, down in the dumps. And maybe you don't know us great. Maybe you need somebody who, isn't gonna judge you and, needs advice. I'll be that person for you. Like I've linked in previous videos, we have a Discord. I link my Twitter, I link my Instagram. Derrell, I can link your Instagram and your Facebook. I'll be there. If you need somebody to talk to, I'll be that person to talk to you. I might not get to the message right away, but at some point in the day, I will get to that message and I will try to offer the best advice that I can offer. And I'm sure, Derrell, I'm sure you have no problem doing the same.
No, I have no problem doing that.
So I will link the Discord
Actually,
link.
I look forward to speaking.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said I look forward to speaking and helping any way I can.
Yeah, I will link my Discord. I will link my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram. I will link Derrell's social medias as well. Don't be afraid to reach out. We might not, we may never have interacted. You might be new to the show. You may have interacted with this show and watched every episode and you need somebody to talk to. I'll be that person. Derrell will be that person. We just want to know that we're here for our audience. We're here for our fan base. As little as it is right now, we are literally here for everybody. Maybe, like I said, you're brand new to the show. You picked up, oh, it's a mental health episode. Let me listen. You've gotten this far in, and you said, I really need to talk to somebody. Follow the links. Follow the comment. Literally comment in the YouTube section too. Comment literally anywhere if you need that help or if you need that person to talk to. And me and Derrell will reach out to you. We will make sure that you're good. I have other friends I can try to help have reach out to you to make sure that you're good. We want you to make sure that you're good. I know we're not therapists, so we can only offer the best advice that we know from personal experience or from other experiences, but we're still going to try to help you guys the best that we can.
Yeah, don't be strangers.
And,
Open arms, open door policy here.
you know, as we've said in the beginning of the video, the hardest thing for people to do is reach out because they don't know who to reach out to. So we're offering that hand. We're offering that open door kind of policy, like Derrell said. Hit us up. Don't be afraid. Derrell, if you have nothing else, I have nothing else. This has been another episode of the train station, a very, very important one. And we will be back very soon, most likely next week. I will also link my Twitch as I try to start to get into that. That'll be linked below. Make sure to give that a follow. And if there's nothing else, I'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, I'll